Alright guys, today we are making a video on one of the most popular questions I get all year long while we are cleaning for our customers, and that is regarding the tile cleaning. What do I recommend that you guys do for maintenance cleaning, moppings and whatnot? What machines do I recommend? What solution do I recommend? All of that. How do you maintain your floors during the year between your major cleanings when I come out? So that's what we're going to discuss in this video, and we're getting started right now. Okay, so there are so many devices that are out there for you guys to buy to mop your floors throughout the year, and all of them say that they're the best that is out there, and they come with cleaning agents that you can buy. One thing I always want you to remember is that a lot of the cleaning products, a lot of the cleaning tools that they make are geared to our convenience. The easier it is for us to do the job, the better the product sells. So that doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to do a good job. What we've found in the cleaning industry is that the systems and methods and tools that are used to do a really good, proper, thorough job still require some hard work. So that's not any different than the method I'm going to recommend to you guys. You don't have to buy any fancy equipment, but it is going to require a little bit of elbow grease and some time. So let's get started. These are the products I recommend. This little mop bucket, your traditional old school mop bucket with a wringer, some white vinegar, and a traditional string mop. Those are the items that you're going to need to get, plus one other item, and that is this grout brush here. This grout brush is what we use on all of our tile jobs. Let me show you the end of it. This one's kind of beat up because we use it every day, but it's got these nylon bristles on the bottom. These are flattened out, as you can see. A new grout brush usually comes with the bristles about that tall right there, and they form a V shape. And as you can see, these have gotten flat from our use. But the V shape allows them to get down into the grout line. Let me show you here. So you scrub the solution in like that, and the V shape allows those bristles to get right down into the grout line. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So the price for this bucket, as you can see here, is $49.97, and the price for our string mop there is $10.97. So they're not doesn't require a whole lot of money. All right, guys, this is how this comes. Let me pan out here. There's your picture, and these are the items in here. It actually attaches there, as you'll see in a minute, and those wheels are going to screw into the bottom of this guy, and they just pop in. Alright, so as you can see, this just literally pushes right in. See that little lip? You just shove it right in there. There's no screwing, and there's no nuts or bolts or any of that. And then this just slides right in there. You have to kind of force it in, and this little guy pushes in and will go into that hole. Alright guys, they have little notches on the side here. It's very hard to see, and they have numbers. So what I did is I colored in that number with a dry erase marker, and then I just wiped it off so you can see that that's a 6-gallon mark. There's a 5, 4, so it's a 6-gallon bucket. And the way you're going to want to mix this is 1 to 10. So a 1 to 10 means 1 part white vinegar to 10 parts water. So for every gallon of water, which is 128 ounces, you're going to want about 12 ounces or so of white vinegar. So if you fill this up to the 6-gallon mark, you're going to want to go 12 ounces times 6, roughly. One of the very first things you're going to do before you start laying down moisture on the floor is you have to vacuum or sweep. Let me show you what I did. I purposely let the floor go for quite a while just because not everybody on average has time to mop and vacuum their floors every single week. That is the schedule I recommend. But if you look close here, you can see all kinds of debris all over the floor. And this is indicative of a lot of homes in America. You got dust on the baseboards, and we have dogs, so there's hair and goodies all over the place. Look at this hair. Look at that dog hair. We have 5 dogs here, so my house is a great example of about as worse as bad as it gets. So anyways, the last thing you want to do is be getting all that hair and all those loose particles in your mop and in your mop water, and it just makes for a mess. So do a very thorough vacuuming. Most vacuum cleaners have a floor attachment. Vacuum real good, vacuum the corners, even vacuum your baseboards if you have an attachment. You can even take a rag on the baseboards. Let me show you here. You can take a rag, any rag, and just dry wipe the baseboard. See how much nicer that looks? A lot of it is just loose. So you don't have to get all crazy, but look at the difference between that side and the side I just wiped. So get all the loose particles off the floor before you start mopping. I got my little trusty shark here. This is the one I leave at home. The commercial grade one is the one I work with in the truck for the cleaning monkey. The guys use that one every day, but the sharks have been really good to us. So I am going to vacuum this floor real quick. Guys, this is one of the things I like about these string mops. You have this little dial here, and as you can see, it releases this bracket, and you can take this whole thing out, and you can wash it and then let it dry, and then you just tighten it back up, and you're ready to go. Okay, so I got our water in. I put 5 gallons in so that I can put my mop in there. Okay. You're going to want to let that soak for a little while to let those fibers soak up the water. And in the meantime, let's get our vinegar ready. Alright guys, just for round numbers, I like to go 10 ounces per gallon of water. So since I got 5 gallons of water in there, I'm going to go 50 ounces of white vinegar. So if you fill this up to the top, which is 4 cups, that is going to be 32 ounces. So 32 and about 18. So right there between 16 and 20. And you got to remember on this mixture, it doesn't have to be dead on. If you want to mix 1 to 20 even, that would probably be fine. What the vinegar does is it acts as a disinfectant. It acts as a disinfectant, and it's a cleaner, but it doesn't leave a residue. It's not a surfactant or a soap, so it's not going to leave a soapy residue. Now keep this in mind. Once in a while, you guys might have a spill or something that left grease on the floor, and the vinegar is not a degreaser. Remember that. So sometimes this mixture won't break up a grease. So in that case, what you could do is take some Dawn dish soap. Dawn is my favorite dish soap, or really any dish soap. Just a little bit in your mop bucket, and mop the floor with a soapy solution, very diluted. You don't have to have a really, you don't have to have a lot of cleaning agent to break up grease. So just a little bit, and mop the floor first with that solution, empty the water, and then move into your water and vinegar mixture, because the key is you want to get the soap. If you had to use a surfactant like a soap to break up a grease, you want to get that off of the floor. That is what ends up, that's the #1 rule most of my customers break. Before I come along, they are using a cleaning agent in their mop water, and then it leaves a residue on the floor, and that attracts soil. So, and then on this vein, a lot of the manufacturers with these new devices that come out, these little Swiffers and these little devices, they're very convenient, but the surface space is tiny. They're these little squares, pads, and you have to keep in mind that those machines require you to keep buying pads. They also recommend that you use their cleaning agent. So then you're mopping the floor with a cleaning agent, and you're leaving a residue, and the floor gets dirtier faster than it should because there's a residue. So now you're going through cleaning agent. So they're making money on the purchase of the tool, one. Then with you continuing to buy pads, they're making money on that, and they're making money on you buying their cleaning product. So the key is you do not want to leave a soapy film of any kind, even Pine Sol, on the floor. Alright guys, I got my mixture together. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And now when you're putting the solution on the floor, you want to get it real wet, because part of the effectiveness of this is allowing the floor to be wet for about 5 to 10 minutes. That alone, even if all you did was just use pure water, that alone is going to break up a lot of the soil that you have. So be real liberal with it. When we clean, when we do our heavy cleaning with the machine, you guys probably have seen me. I use a tool called a Hydroforce, and it's a pressurized thing that hooks up to my pressure line in the with my carpet cleaning machine, and we just spray it all over the floor. You can see how much liquid I'm getting on the floor, and that's what you want. You want to get it wet, and you want it to stay wet for about 5 to 10 minutes. And it's okay if you're walking in it. I got my flip-flops on. You just want to get it all over and get it kind of, this is what we call the dwell time. You want it to dwell, because that's going to break up a lot of the soil. Now, you have water and vinegar. You don't have a whole lot of white vinegar, and it's not harmful to the carpet. So you can get right up. You can get right up to the edge of your carpet you're not going to be wetting the carpet enough to do any damage. So you got it all wet. You want it, again, you're going to want it to stay wet for about 5 or 10 minutes. I recommend that you guys do about a 10 by 10 foot area at a time. Maybe like a dining area or your kitchen is a good size. If you get into too bigger of an area, then your water can start traveling into places that you don't want it, and if you get into a bigger area too, it's going to start drying on you. Alright guys, you're going to take your trusty grout brush and just brush each grout line. You always want to do all the lines one way so you don't lose track of where you're at. And up in the corners, you can do it like that. You get the corners really good. These grout brushes are about $25, my cost, and I can get them for you, and I can deliver them to you whenever you're ready to purchase one. But these are magic for the grout lines. You're just gonna give it it's like brushing your teeth. You're brushing the floors, these grout lines, and loosening up that soil. And you can see, it's hard to see on camera, but you can see the soil coming loose. So you're going to go through all the lines this way. Then, on my tile it's staggered. You're going to start on one end and do all the lines this way. See that dirt? See that dirt coming up right there? That's not a shadow. See that? So this works. And just go through and do all the lines this way. And that way you don't, you're not bouncing around and missing grout lines. Alright guys, I scrubbed all the grout lines all over. I even did the edges. I did not scrub my baseboards. You don't want to get too aggressive, but you do want to loosen up all that hair and stuff that was built up in the corners. And now you're ready to to dry up the floor. So what I did is I rinsed my mop. That's the other reason you want to only do about a 10 by 10 foot area at a time, because the more you do, the dirtier your mop water is going to get, and the more you're going to be starting to spread dirt around. Once you've done an area about this big, you want to change your mop water. And again, it's an inconvenience, but this is the proper way to clean your floor. Guys, another tip. When you're wringing it out, once you've squeezed the first time, you can reposition the fibers, twist it, and go back down. Any of you that have been in any commercial cleaning, this is a good way to get as much of the water out of the mop as possible. And then you move on to your next section. Alright guys, I am done mopping the floor, and I wanted to show you something here. This is about how much moisture is going to be left on the floor. It's not a ton. It should dry in no time. With or without a fan. I like to put a fan on it so it starts to dry, but as you can see, the grout lines look dark, but in person, as I was scrubbing, you could see the dirt coming up. And look at your mop water. That's just with this little 7 by 10 bathroom that I have or something. Roughly about that size, 80 square feet roughly. So you can see that if you continued with this bucket of water onto the next area, all you're doing is transferring soil to another area of the of the home. And if it's really dark, if you're doing this for the first time and your bucket of water got really dark, then my recommendation is to empty that bucket of water. You don't have to put any more vinegar in. And fill it up with just pure water and do one last mopping of the floor, because obviously with that much soil in the bucket you left a little bit of a film behind. But even if you didn't do that, you made a big huge dent. Now if you do this once a week, again, it's a lot of hard work, but you will keep your floors looking good. And then have me come, have the cleaning monkey come every year is considered good maintenance, and that way we can just hit the reset button and get you on a clean slate as far as the floor is concerned. Now the other thing is, you don't have to scrub the grout every week. If all you guys do is put a bucket together of your water and white vinegar and mop the floor after you're vacuuming, of course, and mop the floor without scrubbing the grout, you don't have to do that every week. You can probably get away with scrubbing the grout maybe once a month, because that adds a big step to the process. Alright guys, it's been about 10 minutes since I finished the floor, and as you can see, it's all dry in just 10 minutes. And if you get down here real close, we can see how clean those grout lines came out by scrubbing it with that brush. And these lines are right in our traffic area coming out of our master bedroom. So it doesn't look brand new like we get it when we do our full-on cleaning with the machine, but as you can see, for a maintenance cleaning throughout the year, this method is going to be far superior to any of the other little devices that you can buy, and you're not using any cleaning agents other than the white vinegar. So there you have it. That is how I recommend you guys do your floors. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can text me on my cell, 623-229-1032. The office number is 623-986-0170. And you can email us at thecleaningmonkey@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.